Good morning, it's 10 a.m. Hello and welcome to another episode of Game Week Preview on EPLW. I'm Joe. Alongside me is the man who needs no introduction. Here are the Game Week fixtures then. Let's have a look at what we've got coming up this week. We're going to look at the first half of this double game week, this weekend's fixtures today. Man City, West Ham kicking off. Oh, that's a stonker, that. First v fourth. Who thought that would be the one that could potentially disrupt Man City's unbeaten run? Then West Brom, Brighton, which for some reason I've highlighted when screenshotting. There's no significance there. Ignore that, please. Leeds, Aston Villa at 5:30. And then Newcastle, Wolves at 8 o'clock. Potential battle of the speed demons there between Alan Saint-Maximin and Traore. Sunday's matches then. Crystal Palace, Fulham, midday. Leicester, Arsenal, also at midday on the other hand. That should be an entertaining match. Spurs, Burnley at 2 o'clock. Then Chelsea, Man United at 4:30. Big one. And then Sheffield United hosting Liverpool at 7:15 tomorrow. So, yeah, basically, it's looking like quite a tidy, tasty little game week. We're going to preview each of those games now. We're going to predict the outcomes of those games and potentially look like fools on tomorrow's EPLW show. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure you never miss a live stream again. And make sure you allow notifications so you know every time we go live. If you're watching and you've got any suggestions, get in the chat, get in the comments, get involved. We want to have a conversation, and that's what this is all about, okay? We're getting everyone involved. Make sure you tell us what you want to hear about on the pod as well. If you've got any suggestions or anything, get in there. Also, tweet us at EPLW pod. Like, subscribe, comment, allow notifications, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Oh, I did it, Roz. I got the intro done.
I like 7 paragraphs. Well, that was
oh, it's all up here, mate. You think I read it out?
Yeah,
no, I don't read it all, mate. That's all in my head. It's completely
nice.
Off the cuff. Like, you know me. Ever the professional, and professional means you know it all in your head already. You don't need to read it.
Very nice.
Very
covered
nice.
all the bases, mate.
Lovely. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Peep Show recently. It's like every 6 months or so, I just rewatch the whole thing, like all 9 series on Netflix.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, just like
literally.
A super binge.
Twice a year or something. Yeah. Not episode 1 and just work your way through it.
Yeah, exactly. So if
you think with such short episodes it would start getting old, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. It is just pure genius. So if I bust out any sort of super hands impressions or anything, apologies in advance. Should we get onto this game week then?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay, first up we have at 12:30 today, Man City hosting West Ham United. Aguero could make his first Premier League appearance since the 3rd of January. And get this, only his 6th appearance this season it would be if he shows up today. Nathan Ake still out with his major muscle problem. Ryan Fredericks is a doubt because of a groin injury. Yarmolenko, Ogbonna and Masuaku all remain unavailable. Man City, top of the table, clear by 10 points, 59 points they're on after 25 games. West Ham, 45 points. There's 14 points between these guys, but I feel like it might be a bit closer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I honestly do. I think West Ham will give them. I think West Ham will give them a game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the result isn't for me in question. I think it will be 19 on the bounce so far. I think it'll be number 20. They're a very good side, West Ham. We've been saying over the last few episodes how well David Moyes has organised them. He's got players that kind of bounce off each other well. He's got a nice sort of balanced squad. However, I think it's also important to say that they probably wouldn't be fighting for the top 4 if a few of the other sort of sides that you'd expect to see in those places actually pulled their finger out. You'd have to say that, not that I just sort of want to, not West Ham, but I would say that if Man United weren't so inconsistent with their results, I would say that if Chelsea didn't have the plummet before the rise that Tuchel brought, if the likes of Arsenal kind of sorted their house out, you know.
Yeah, okay. So you don't see it being, you see it being quite a straightforward City win, this one?
I do actually, yeah. I reckon 2-0. nice and comfortable.
2-0, and who's your main man? Goal scorer or big influencer, or
Let's go with Guerrero. You mentioned it. I mean, would you say that if he turns up? I mean, I'm sure he'll turn up.
It sounded a bit harsh the way I said it, didn't it? But you know what I mean. Well, do you know what? I reckon this is the game where Joao Cancelo finally gets called out and cancelled out. I can see Declan Rice doing a job on him. I think they play with the Rice and Souček, two holding midfielders. I mean, I think they're the most solid defensive centre mid pairing in the league, and that's why they're doing so well. That is the linchpin of their success, right? They got Rice and they got Souček in there, and they not only defend well, but they pivot and create counter attacks. They prevent the back four from receiving too much pressure. But that's Cancelo's operation area, and Man City have come up against teams that will deploy players in those positions, but not so rigidly used to be in those positions. Like Rice and Souček, that's them. That's what they do. And Cancelo will operate in those inside forward places. I think the game hinges on Rice and Souček dealing with Cancelo. Who deals with him, when, why, how, other questions. But I think that's what it hinges on, and I think it'll be closer. I'm going to go 2-1 to City. I still think City will edge it, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as that. And I think it'll be Cancelo will be the main man to engineer that win. And but it is down to Rice and Souček to deal with him.
So you think that he'll outwit them to like a Marseille turn? And
I think he might. I think he might Cancelo them out. Anyway, let's
Very
get.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's awful, wasn't it? Sorry. Let's get on to the next game. The next game is the big one of the game week. West Brom at home to Brighton and Hove Albion. 3:00 today. West Brom without Semi Ajayi and Dara O'Shea will likely replace him. Robert Snodgrass will not be risked after complications from a knee problem, but he should be fit for next Thursday's game. Brighton right back Tariq Lamptey has been in training all week and could feature. That would be exciting to see Tariq Lamptey back, wouldn't it? He definitely won't start though. Adam Webster yet to overcome the ankle injury he picked up at Burnley. Going into the game, West Brom 19th. They're 9 points, 11 points from safety. Brighton 4 points clear of relegation. This could have easily been a relegation battle, but Brighton have pulled clear over the last 5 to 6 weeks, and this another win here for Brighton surely gives them a lot bigger hopes of safety.
I think so. I mean, I think if you look at the squad, look at the manager, and actually the kind of football they play as well. Actually, no, I'm not a very big fan of XG, but XG I think actually relates to Brighton quite well, in that their XG is always very high, and they're, would say, 4 points from safety. So it's clearly not kind of reflecting in the results, but I feel like it is in the performances.
They're 4 points clear they're 4 points clear of the relegation zone. And just want to clarify for any viewers who aren't sure what XG is, it's expected goals, and it's a metric that tells you how many goals they should have scored in the game. But I don't know. I'm not sold on it, and you're not a fan at all, are you?
Well, I don't like it when people use it for to elude what a result should have been, because I think that taking your chances in football is one of the things you assess performance by, right? You would say that, they had like 10 shots and they all went over the bar. Well, that's a poor performance, even if you're kind of creating the chances for yourselves.
Yeah.
There was a great one with Brighton Palace the other day. You know that derby. Brighton Palace derby. Yeah.
The M23 derby. The last two picked at football, like it's just winning the playground. Anyway,
I think it was something like Brighton's XG was 3 and Palace's was 0.2. And Palace won 2-1.
And there you go.
Brighton had 52 touches in the Crystal Palace box, and Crystal Palace had 2, and they scored 2 goals, both from the their 2 touches all came in the Brighton box was for goals. So I think Brighton will bounce back from that to kind of bring it around again. I think they'll definitely be safe regardless of the result. It's the kind of thing where maybe if they lost today, they could be sort of 1 point off the relegation. But like I said, I think they've definitely got more than enough to stay up. I'm going for 3-1 Brighton. Let's go mental.
Oh, and who's your main man?
I think I said Aaron Connolly last week, and I don't even know if he played. Let's go for Dan Burn, because he's been really impressing me.
I would love to. I'd love to hear some sort of chant about Dan Burn using lyrics from Rage Against the Machine. You know, burn, burn. Yes, you're gonna burn. I feel like it's definitely there. Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
I'm saying 1-1. I reckon West Brom should be treating this as a cup final, and I think as such they will draw and get a point. But I think main man for Brighton will come off the bench. That guy Danny Welbeck, the forgotten man of Premier League football. He will rise again. Okay, let's get on then.
Like Lord Voldemort. Oh, that's sort of black magic, kind of.
Yeah. Okay, next game. Leeds Villa, 5:30 today in the Premier League. Let me know what you think, your viewers. Let us know what you think will happen in this game. What's the score going to be? Leeds host Aston Villa. Leeds are 10th in the table on 35 points. Aston Villa, a couple of places ahead on 36, with a couple of games in hand as well. Is the European dream still alive for Villa, quickly, Rowan, before I go into the team news?
I don't think it is. I think that you've got too many sides competing there. So I think a few better sides than them won't get Europe. So I don't think Villa will.
Okay. Leeds midfielder Matthias Klitsch is a fitness doubt after appearing to hurt his back in midweek. Don't know if you saw that. It looked painful. Calvin Phillips, Rodrigo and Robin Koch will all miss out again. Jack Grealish remains unavailable with no time frame put on his return. I'm sure they're being very secretive about Jack Grealish's return from injury after the big FPL leak last week. Bjorn Engels has recovered from a back spasm and could be among the subs. What do you make of this one then?
Just a quick word I forgot to say on the talking about the Norwegian guy who's been leaking the Villa stuff.
Yes, yeah, we touched on him yesterday.
Yeah, we touched on it a bit. You said that Pep called it unethical, right?
Yeah, he called it unethical and unprofessional.
Unprofessional. Where was Pep during Spygate when his idol Marcelo Bielsa hid a guy in some bushes to spy on Derby's team? Because I don't remember him coming out and saying that was unethical, which was significantly worse, I think, than creating a bot that follows someone's fancy Premier League team. just putting that out there. Double standards for Pep there, I think.
I mean, well, every time.
It's not unethical. It's just like smart, right?
Everyone
does it. Everyone does it.
You caught me off guard there because I was like, okay, yeah, this interesting point. Oh, it's about Bielsa somehow, right there. No surprises there.
It's a genuine point. Like,
I just got this like image of what's behind your screen at the moment. The bit of your house that I can't see. Is there like a dartboard with Marcelo Bielsa's face on it, and you're just like lobbing darts, running out of darts, just grabbing cutlery and forks, and then buying a gun off the internet? And anyway, no, don't do that. Okay.
No, the Bielsa's on the bullseye. I've got Frank Lampard on the triple 20.
Wow.
No, I think people might wonder why I'm always ranting about them, and it's things like that that kind of get forgotten.
Okay, let's bring it back to this game. Leeds Villa. We've had a prediction
that's what's happening, isn't it?
In the comments, we've had William says he reckons it'll be 2-2. We'll see what Roz and I come out with and see if that aligns with you. Mus is in the comments. He's saying there's a glitch in the Matrix. That has to be your fantasy team now, for surely, Miss. That has to be your fantasy team name. I changed my fantasy team name this week to Cancelo Culture. I heard Gary Lineker say it, and I was like, "You beauty." I'm gonna have to take that one. Anyway, right, the game, Leeds Villa. I need a very quick prediction and main man.
Sorry. Just remembered, we're doing really badly on this game, aren't we? I just remembered Gary Lineker put a pun out when Thomas Tuchel first came in. Yeah, it's like sometimes Gary Lineker just comes out with gold. And this one was, if he's not careful, Mason Mount is soon going to be Tuchel's pet.
Oh,
That's
dear.
not fun. Tuchel doesn't sound like teacher. It just starts with the same letter. It's not even a
Yeah, that was
thing. So be careful of Gary Lineker. He does occasionally come out with stuff like that as well. This is a really hard one to call. Should we talk about the game? Aston Villa, Leeds. Should we
literally, we've spent so much time. We've gone over. We should be on like game number 4 now. So all I want from you on this one is a prediction and just a prediction and a main man. Please go.
Let's go for 3-1 Villa.
Yeah.
Main man, Ollie Watkins.
Okay, I thought you might say Watkins. I'm going 2-0 Leeds, and it's got to be that man, Bamford. Pat Bammers. Bamford a reload. Jack is in the comments. I think Roz secretly likes Bielsa. There you go.
Nice. Yeah.
Have you got anything to say to Jack in response to that, Roz?
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, pseudo racist, overrated, boring guys that just squat and everyone fucking loves it. Yeah, just my type. Love him.
Oh, I think you maintained an element of calm there when I wasn't sure whether you were going to be triggered by that or maintain it, and you were teetering on the edge for so long. You were like, no, I've got nothing to say.
Because we were talking about Brighton Palace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how it's kind of a fake rivalry, and they've kind of just invented it as a derby because they're both lonely. So, like, I think lots of football rivalries are very much just for the sake of it. So we said last time, obviously, with Millwall West Ham, there's kind of a political thing there. With Tottenham Arsenal, it's Arsenal kind of moving into Tottenham's territory. There's sort of genuine reasons, but I still think with things like that might have happened 100 years ago, it often gets forgotten, and someone that's raised as an Arsenal fan or a Spurs fan just hates them. A bit like you do with Spurs. It's like it's an innate thing, right?
Yeah.
It's that you're kind of taught as an Arsenal fan to really hate Spurs. Okay? I kind of do that with West Ham, but actually, I don't have anything against West Ham players. I don't have anything against West Ham fans even. Karen Brady's absolute cow, but apart from that, no reason to sort of hate West Ham. I want to make this very clear to Jack. I hate Leeds. I hate Bielsa. It is all very well thought through. It's not just a football thing where I'm sort of triggered or I'm sort of referred to as a hooligan thing where I really hate Leeds. No, I hate Bielsa. Okay,
Phoenix in the comments says Rafinha to be the main man, 2-1 Leeds. Hopefully Traore gets in the points as well as he's in my team. Will says a little Bamford. I don't know what that means, Will, but thank you for your contribution. Okay, the next game, Newcastle host Wolves. 17th place Newcastle take on the Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are 12th. Newcastle forward Joe Linton is available, despite being forced off against Man United because of a minor injury. It's going to come a bit too soon for Federico Fernandez, while Callum Wilson, Fabian Schär and Javier Manquillo all remain sidelines. Wolves are without defender Marcel, who was injured after coming on as a substitute against Leeds. Daniel Podence, Willy Bolly and Raul Jimenez are still unavailable. How do you see this one going, Roz? Let's try and stay on the game for this one.
Look, I don't think that Newcastle are very good. I don't think Steve Bruce is very good. So I never really back them, and then they seem to just pull these results out that don't really make a lot of sense to me. I'm still going to stick to my guns and say that I think this should be a Wolves win.
Okay.
And main man, let's go for Ruben Neves. Let's go for a 2-1 Wolves win. Ruben Neves to get a penalty or something.
Okay.
How's that? Is that to the point enough?
That was very to the point, wasn't it? I didn't even have to ask you any questions. You were just like, bang.
Yeah, be proud.
I'm proud of you. Well done. I'm so proud of you. We've made it. We've made it to the motherland of EPLW game week preview. Yeah, Newcastle Wolves. Quick one, if you're watching, viewers. Firstly, get in the comments and give us your prediction for this game, Newcastle Wolves. Secondly, in midweek, we did a live stream about Newcastle United, and we came up with their greatest Premier League team ever, their greatest Premier League 11. So go check that out after this video. It's just on the channel, Joe Carter EPLW. I'm personally going to say, I reckon, I pretty much, I can't really look past what you said, although I do think Willian Jose will finally get his first goal for Wolves. I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves. Willian Jose.
Nice.
Have you got anything else to add on that one, Roz, before I check what the comments are saying?
A word out to the poor guy on the Wolves coaching staff, that whenever Adama Traore gets subbed on, has to put Vaseline on his arms. I've seen that. Whenever he's like warming it up, he warms up for about 2 minutes. That's like a really quick warm up, and then spends about 10 minutes before he gets subbed on, just having a guy literally grease his arms like a boxer would.
Yeah.
On the side of his head.
It's brilliant.
It's bizarre.
Well, but it's margins, isn't it? It's the fine margins of winning Premier League football matches. It's so he can't get like grabbed on running down the wing. I assume his arms are completely waxed as well, like no hair, so defenders can't catch him. It should be an interesting battle actually. But I mean, looking at Traore and Saint-Maximin, there's a lot of pace on display and a lot of raw skill and talent. Like those guys are superb players, both of them, and surely there's got to be some magic coming from one of those. Do you know what, Roz? I'm going to change my prediction. I'm going to make Traore my main man. I'm going to do it.
Man.
We've had some comments. Now, if I say the B word, I don't want you to get annoyed. Okay? Sorry, no one said Bielsa, don't worry. Jack says, not sure you've made your point clear enough, Roz. I think it's sarcastic. Don't worry, you don't need to make it anymore. Mus says Newcastle 0, Wolves 1, Pedro Neto. We've got 2-1 Wolves. And someone else is saying Wolves are going to bite the Geordies. Oh, right, I get it. Yeah, wolves as in the animals. Wolves bite things and they're going to bite the Geordies. Okay, let's get on to tomorrow's games then, shall we? And I'm sorry, whoever said that. Absolutely burned.
Just got really sinister.
Yeah, yeah, just suddenly turned a corner there, didn't it?
Get like animal control involved.
Yeah. Someone call the RSPCA. Crystal Palace Fulham tomorrow at midday. Crystal Palace 13th on 32 points. Fulham 18th. They're only 3 points off safety now, you know, Fulham. And I fancy them in this game. Like, it's so funny. We spend every week, we go, no, Fulham, no, probably not. But now there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And wouldn't it be the biggest shock if Fulham pulled it off?
Yeah, absolutely. I still don't think it will happen. You effectively just Newcastle just need to better their results. I think they'll do well in this game, though. I did watch the main event, the big one, Monday Night Football, the derby between Brighton and Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace were absolutely shocking, terrible, like really bad.
Perhaps there was this.
Actually, if you like looked at all,
perhaps there's
comments, like all the Crystal Palace.
Perhaps there's a stat that could illustrate how badly they did, whilst also winning. Have you heard of expected goals, Roz? XG. Their XG was 0.2. They were expected to score 1/5 of a goal, but they scored 2. That surely shows how badly they played, I guess.
Oh, it's effectively just 2 moments of quality. It was an unreal Christian Benteke finish. And actually, the first one was arguably better. So the Benteke one was a volley, brilliant. And I've forgotten the name. Who's their new striker?
Jean-Philippe Mateta. Oh, that was a sick goal.
Mateta.
Yeah, that was sick.
Filth.
Yeah, that was
Absolute
utter filth. I had it on in the background and I was sort of chatting away. And I literally turned into like a 16-year-old again. I was chatting away. I saw it out the corner of my eye. I was like, "Oh my days! Did you see that?" Yeah, that was beautiful. If you haven't seen that goal and you're watching, go and have a look at it. And also give us your predictions for this one before we get to ours, please. Palace Fulham. What's the result going to be? And who's going to be the main man? I'm going to give you some quick team news, Roz, before we go any further on this one. Nathaniel Klein's been ruled out after sustaining a training injury. He will join James MacArthur, Mamadou Sakho, Jeffrey Schlupp, James Tompkins and Wilfried Zaha on the sidelines. Scott Parker welcomes back Alexander Mitrovic after a 3-match absence because of a positive coronavirus test. Long-term injury absentees Tom Kearney and Terence Congolo are not yet fit enough return. So do you reckon Mitrovic starts then, or does Josh Maja keep his place? He's done all right. A lot of injuries for Palace as well. So I really fancy Fulham in this one. Not going to lie.
Can I just send my best wishes to coronavirus? Having to live inside Alexander Mitrovic. I think Corona probably had to isolate for 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
Wow. After,
reeling out the Chuck Norris jokes. I love it.
After talking about how good Palace's goals were and how finishes were, my overriding point was they were absolutely crap. And Fulham on the rise. I'm gonna go for 2-0 Fulham.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go for Maja or Lookman. Let's go for Maja. I think he'll keep his place. He's only not scored in one game since he's come in, which is the last one, I think.
Yeah,
so
I know what you're saying about the about how badly Palace played, but it was 2 moments of quality, and what they proved against Brighton in that massive derby game against Brighton, the M23 derby, the massive derby. What they proved in that massive derby game is that they have the quality without Zaha. So when Zaha isn't there, everyone puts their. Do you know what? Zaha needs to just leave Palace and set them free. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like
set them free.
Fly, Wilfried, fly. So, like, do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Actually, Will Zaha is one of my other pet hates, so don't get me triggered on him.
What? Will Zaha, you hate Will Zaha? How can you hate Will Zaha?
I can't stand the guy. But I was watching back when Palace were in the lowly Championship, and they couldn't buy a win against Millwall for a good 10 games in a row or something. I was actually my friend's a Palace fan, works for Palace Radio, and the away tickets always sold out really quickly. So I'd go and sit with the Palace fans to watch Millwall Palace. And one time I went, and it was when there was this new hotshot kid called Wilfried Zaha. It was when Victor Moses had just left for Chelsea. And I was watching it with his family because he has 3 or 4 siblings. I think it was his mum and all his brothers and sisters, which is in the row in front of me. Why do I hate Will Zaha? Because he takes everything personally. He's got the maturity of a toddler. If you watch him when he gets fouled, he always takes it personally, right? So if he gets kicked or something, he always stands up. It's like he's about to cry and tries to get in their face.
But that's that is So you didn't get triggered on Zaha there, by the way, did you?
No, not at all.
Isn't that just his passion for the game, though? You know, it's a very kind of. But you see it a lot from.
He thinks he's better. I can't stand a player who thinks they're bigger than the club they're at, and won't sort of turn on to why the offers aren't coming in. He's got this kind of mentality where he's far too big for Palace, and he actually should be at an Arsenal or a Man United. Didn't that work out well? He's got this kind of deluded.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hold you up there, but more on Zaha next time. Jack's in the comments. He says 2-0 Fulham. Maja to be the main man.
That's fine. Yeah.
Agreeing with you, Roz, there. So, yeah, someone agreeing with you. I think that's you piping down a bit, isn't it? Nice one. Good man. Okay, I'm going to say 2-1 Fulham, but I think it's going to be that man, the mighty Super Mitrovic is going to come back. He's going to come off the bench and he's going to score a header from about 100 yards out and about a mile in the sky. He's going to be like, oh, like that, and he's going to score the winner. I do think Palace have enough to put some sort of effect on the game, though, so I'm going to give them a 1. 2-1 Fulham. Mitrovic to score. Now, the other big game tomorrow at midday, or arguably the slightly larger affair, Leicester City host Arsenal at the King Power Stadium. Leicester third on 49 points, solidifying that top 4 place. Arsenal still sort of languishing in 11th, but could potentially go 8th with a win here if other results go their way. Rob Holding missed the midweek win over Benfica due to concussion protocols. He could return. Thomas Partey could return after making his comeback in that match as well. Leicester, though, will be without James Maddison. How big a miss is that for Leicester?
Absolutely huge. Should be pleased to know I don't think I hate any players in either of these squads, so no ranting on this one. Absolutely huge. I'm a big fan of the guy.
Fantastic player, fantastic ability, great guy, absolutely great person.
Wonderful, very proud.
Wonderful human being. He's a great human being. He's a great example of a man.
Okay, stop being racist, Joe.
Really? Oh my God! Now you're triggering me. No, I'm keeping my cool.
Very contrasting weeks in European football for these two. Leicester crashing out, surprisingly, out of the Europa League, and Arsenal with an immense win. I thought it showed. I've only got Brenton Rodgers in my head now, but I was going to say it showed like great personality and team spirit actually.
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka with 2 assists was unplayable at times.
What's a player?
And Aubameyang, good to see him get 2 goals for Arsenal fans, I'm sure. I reckon if Maddison was fit, and you had sort of Maddison, Harvey Barnes, Jamie Vardy, I think they would cause absolute murder against Arsenal's back line. I think after that win in Europe, I think Arsenal will be bouncing. I've got a feeling. You know about my feelings, Joe. I've got a feeling Arsenal might actually get a surprise win here. How's that make you feel as an Arsenal fan when I say a surprise victory against Leicester for Arsenal?
I feel absolutely fine about it, Roz.
Great.
Honestly, I feel fine about it. What's your prediction anyway?
2-1 Arsenal with Bukayo Saka to get a goal and an assist or a step over, one of those 3.
A step over. He loves a step over, doesn't he? He's
He had about 8 before the second assist, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh no, he is an absolute baller. Between him and Croydon, we've got such a great attacking lineup now. If we can keep hold of Odegaard if Arsenal can keep hold of Odegaard next season, they'll have a formidable 3 behind the striker, and they're all super young and, bags of energy. And Smith Rowe, man, the way he presses, the Croydon De Bruyne, he presses I'd say he's a better presser of the ball than Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino, the one-man pressing machine. All right, watch Arsenal at Leicester tomorrow, and providing Smith Rowe starts, which I expect him to, just watch how the pressure he puts on the centre backs, and he really breaks up the game for the opposition and stops them playing how they play. We got a prediction in the comments: 2-2 Harvey Barnes, as I brought him into my fantasy team. If you want any fantasy tips, by the way, yesterday Roz and I did our Fantasy Friday show. That will be on the channel Joe Carter EPLW. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're watching, and also get in the comments and let us know what you think. I'm personally going for 3-2 Arsenal. I think it'll be quite an open attacking game. And Vardy always scores against Arsenal. So I'm going to say 3-2 Arsenal. Vardy will probably score both of those goals. That's my prediction.
It's a proper wind-up merchant, isn't he?
Yeah.
it's ever since that transfer didn't go through and he turned Arsenal down. He just loves scoring, actually.
It's true. Okay, next game. Tottenham host Burnley. Serge Aurier could feature after his 5-game absence, but Giovanni Lo Celso faces several more weeks on the sidelines with his hamstring injury. Harry Kane and Son Heung-min, who were rested for the midweek game, are set to play. Ashley Barnes is ruled out with a thigh injury, but Robbie Brady could return. Eric Peters, Chris Wood and Dale Stephens are also in contention and will be given fitness tests. So Burnley visit London tomorrow afternoon. They're on 28 points. You know, they're sort of plodding along in their usual sort of spot. Tottenham languishing down in 9th, really, a lot lower than their aspirations would kind of where they'd want to be, essentially. 36 points, 7 points off the top 4. There's 2 things I really want to talk about here, Roz. The first one being, what do Tottenham do to improve their situation? And the second one is almost the same question to Burnley. Like, what's Burnley's aims from now on? Do they stick with Deitch and keep coming 17th? Or do they look to try and move forward out of that? So let's go back to the Tottenham question first. How do Tottenham improve their situation?
It's a really interesting season for them. I think lots of Spurs fans were very optimistic when Gareth Bale was brought in on loan. I think since then a lot of players haven't performed, and overnight Tottenham fans have sort of decided that their defensive players aren't good enough. I imagine they've got Reguilon, who I think is absolutely brilliant on loan from Real Madrid. Davinson Sanchez, very highly rated. He's all right. I think centre halves, they definitely have issues. And Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who I think is potentially the signing of the summer. I'll look stupid if they don't have a good table position at the end of the season. But I was thinking the other day that actually after their win in Europe, you look at Mourinho as a serial winner. He's also a side that can beat, in my opinion, and this is what makes him such a good manager, he can beat any side with any side. If you look at when he won the Champions League with Porto, knocking Man United out in, I think, the semis or the quarters, with I would say, relatively average Inter Milan side, won the treble, beat Pep's Barca with that. He's capable of winning any game. Actually, we could at the end of the season be looking at Tottenham getting into the Champions League with Europa League final win and a League Cup win, which should be 2 trophies.
Yeah.
What can you do? Sorry, that wasn't really the question, but
yeah, we're talking in terms of
like languishing. I think if they have a poor table position at the end of the season, it could still be a 2 cup season.
Yeah, and but it doesn't get them into the Champions League, does it? And I think that's where Spurs see themselves. It
does if you win the Europa League, doesn't it?
That's actually, sorry, yeah, my bad. I was distracted by a comment. Someone's shouting in the comments, like loads of capital letters.
Shouted.
I don't respond to shouting. Jack in the comments says Spurs to bounce back with a 3 or 4-0 win. Son Kane masterclass. So we talked about Spurs, haven't we? Let's talk about Burnley quickly. What's the next step for Burnley? What's it been 6 seasons now with Sean Dyche? He's maintained them. He's got them to where he can. What do they do from here?
I think it's one of those really awkward situations, a bit like Eddie Howe at Bournemouth, where he won't get sacked because of how much he's done for the club. It's where he'll have to walk away, I think, and he'll have to resign. And it could end up like an Eddie Howe kind of situation where actually they end up in a relegation fight, might actually get relegated, and then at that point he walks away, having given the club some of their best seasons in recent years.
Yeah.
I don't think that Sean Dyche has anything. I think his career can only go down. I think he's one of those English managers that gets rated very highly because he's actually just been in the same job for a very long time. So he's managed to actually handpick his squad. I think he's only got about 2 players that were actually there when he arrived. it's a bit like again with Eddie Howe. If they went on to an Everton, if they went on to a Villa, right, it could go well, and it could be, oh, brilliant, you are that good manager. But he'd also be working for a squad that he didn't bring in, and that's what he has really good at Burnley. I think 23 out of the 25-man squad are all his players.
Talking of his squad and his players, did you hear what he said in response to a question about Nick Pope in the press conference? So a journalist asked him, Jose Mourinho was sort of saying nice things about Nick Pope, and everyone was like, Lloris is getting a bit old. Maybe Spurs want Nick Pope. And a journalist says to Sean Dyche, how much would someone have to offer to buy Nick Pope? And he said, right now, a pint and a packet of peanuts or something like that. Because that's what I really want. That's what I really want right now. Just a pint and a packet of crisps or a packet of peanuts. So yeah,
I love him.
Yeah.
There's also a Sean Dyche that everyone sort of, calling it toxic and terrible because he did that. Patrick Bamford came out and bitched about him, didn't he? And he said, Sean Dyche, when I was at Burnley, I wasn't playing very well. And he said that I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I just love it when sort of people that have had it relatively easy in comparison to others try to act like the victim. They kind of made like Sean Dyche out to be this kind of, you've got a silver spoon in your mouth. You don't want it. You don't want it. Actually, I think Sean Dyche is a good manager. I think most of his players don't have a word against him.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going 3-0 Spurs in this one, and I think Kane will be the main man. Kind of agreeing with what Jack said in the comments. Kane, Son, masterclass.
I was thinking when you read that out, hard to disagree. I think they'll both do something, but let's go for Kane. 3-0 Spurs.
So 3-0 Spurs, Kane. That is exactly the same prediction as me. And I said it. I got in there first and said it though, so you copied me. Okay, next game, the big one, Chelsea Man United tomorrow at 4:30 at Stamford Bridge. Will Tuchel be defeated? He has no fresh injury concerns. Only absentee is Thiago Silva. Man United could be short in midfield options with Scott McDominate, Donny van der Beek, and Dan James are all doubts. Pogba and Mata still remain sidelines. As well as Edinson Cavani expected to still be on the sidelines. So Chelsea 5th on 43 points, Man United 2nd on 49 points. Chelsea looking to close the gap. And if Man City beat West Ham, then Chelsea, the door is open for Chelsea to beat Man United and be in the top 4. Chelsea in the top 4. Could you imagine saying that before Christmas?
Not before Christmas, but I think I did on a show. It's when we had Tim on and asked everyone who their top 4 would be. And everyone sort of said, yeah, Man United nailed on, Chelsea a potential wild card. And I actually said I think it's the other way around, looking at their squads, looking at their form and the weaknesses of both squads. I think we're going to start to see a dip. I think that Chelsea, the only way is up, and I think actually Man United will be fighting for a top 4 place by the end. And I think Chelsea are actually potentially nailed on for one. Interesting.
So big match in terms of the race for Champions League football next season. Do Man United then focus on the Europa League to try and make their way into Europe? In your eyes,
I think they focus on their scouting team and they try and actually get a decent centre half this time. I think that's where all their
it's been a few attempts without managing to do that, hasn't it? So okay. Where do you see this one going? Quick prediction. I want viewers to get in the comments as well with your predictions, and we'll try and read one or two out.
Yeah. So having just said all that, won't surprise you tonight. Backing Chelsea. I think it will be. Is it Old Trafford or Stamford Bridge?
Stamford Bridge.
Really start listening to you.
You should listen to me. Outrageous.
What? I think it'll be a controlled Chelsea victory, but like we've seen from Tuchel before, just possession football, pinging it about, but not really. Never looking in danger, really. I'm going to say a 1-0, but they'll control it. It won't be a kind of sneaky one. It'll be a convincing 1-0.
So sort of a suffocating 85% possession 1-0. And who did you say is your main man?
I'm going to go for Harry Maguire.
What, to screw up?
Yeah. I think that'll be bigger than any impact a Chelsea player has.
I reckon this one's got 1-1 written all over it. And I think the main man, I say his name every week, he keeps getting me the points, Mason Man. He's going to smash
Mason
it.
Man.
Mount Mason. Okay, that brings us on.
Can I change mine? Sorry, I said Harry Maguire. I do think that he's toilet, but let's go for Timo Werner. Change man under Tuchel.
No worries. Okay, you've got that one locked in. Now on to the last game of this this weekend. FYI, if you're watching and you're enjoying what you're seeing, then subscribe to the channel, allow notifications so you know when we go live. We are going to be doing a second preview show for this game week on Monday evening at 6:30 p.m, just before Monday Night Football, where we will preview Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games in this Premier League game week. So join us for that. We're also on Wednesday night, we're going to do another 11, aren't we? That should be fun. We're doing Everton's all-time 11. Thursday night, there'll be an episode of EPLW. Then next Friday, it's Fantasy Friday again, 8:30 a.m. So last game then of this weekend is Sheffield United, Liverpool at Bramall Lane. Jayden Bogle and Chris Basham are the latest Sheffield United players to suffer injuries. They're going to join John Egan, Jack O'Connell, Sander Berger, Jack Robinson and Lise Mousset on the sidelines. A lot of injuries for Sheffield United. Jordan Henderson not expected to be fit until at least April. Diogo Jota, however, could be involved. Fabinho and Milner only return to training on Saturday. A decision on goalkeeper Alisson's availability is yet to be made after his father passed away earlier this week. And yeah, love to Alisson. Such a sad story what happened there. And, you know, best wishes and I hope, you know, the football community is around him, you know.
Yeah, absolutely tragic. And it's these kind of things that sort of makes football results and matches not matter so much. Obviously, every death's hard, but I think particularly after the loss of Jurgen Klopp's mother as well, it's bigger than football, but it's the last thing football-wise that Liverpool needed, really. But absolutely horrible for Alisson there. So thoughts with him. So you said Diogo Jota might be back, which I think is promising. He could be Liverpool's new centre-half with Henderson out for 10 weeks there. I think that this will be an incredibly convincing victory for Liverpool, actually. Such a shame about Sheffield as well, by the way. It's like they're jinxed. All of their injuries, I think, apart from Mousset there, are defensive-minded players.
Yeah.
One of whom I think is a midfielder in Sander Berge. The rest all defenders, so really harsh on them. It's kind of the story of their season. I think it will be 3-0 Liverpool. I think they're due a bounce back. They will miss Henderson, but it also might kind of kick them into action a little bit and go, we have to start taking a look at ourselves a little bit more there. I don't think Sheffield United will offer much in this one, and I see it being 4-0 Liverpool with Mo Salah to feature.
4-0 Liverpool and Salah will feature. We've just had a message from Jack. 2-1 to Man United. Fernandes nicking it late on. Interesting. Okay. Not sure what to make of that. But sorry, I think the comment's coming through a bit slowly. So if you're watching and you post a comment, just expect it to be a bit late when I come around to reading it. Sorry about that. So yeah, you're saying 4-0 Mo Salah. I'm going to say 2-0, and that man, Diogo Jota, he's going to be back. And he's going to come back with a bang, and he's going to play both games this game week, and he's going to get me loads of points in fantasy football. So let's run through our predictions quickly before we finish the show. Man City West Ham, which kicks off in about an hour and a half. I cannot wait for that game. Roz went for 2-0 Aguero. I said 2-1 Cancelo. West Brom Brighton. Roz went 3-1 Brighton with Dan Burn. I said 1-0 Danny Welbeck. Leeds Villa. Roz said 3-1 Villa with Watkins to score. I said 2-0 to Leeds with Bamford being the main man. Newcastle Wolves. Roz said 2-1 to Wolves with Ruben Neves. I said 1-0 to Wolves with Adama Traore. Palace Fulham. Roz went for 2-0 Maja. 2-0 to Fulham with Maja being the main man. And I said 2-1 to Fulham with Alexander Mitrovic featuring again. Leicester Arsenal. We both went for an Arsenal win here. Interestingly, Roz said 2-1 to Arsenal with Saka to be main man. I said 3-2 to Arsenal, but with Jamie Vardy to definitely score because he always scores against Arsenal. Spurs Burnley, we both went for 3-0 with Harry Kane. Chelsea Man United, Roz said 1-0 Chelsea, Timo Werner. I said 1-1 with Mason Mount to be featuring. Sheffield United Liverpool, Roz said 4-0 Salah. I said 2-0 Diogo Jota, the man who is back and he's going to bag me some serious pointage in fantasy football. It's been a pleasure, Roz. It's been a slightly longer episode than usual, but that's been fine because we've had some great laughs along the way. You know, we had all this stuff that we talked about. We went very near the mark with Bielsa. We almost got you to swear. You definitely didn't trigger me at all, and I managed to retain my calm. Underneath here, I am sweating so much where I was trying to retain my calm, just so you know. I'm going to go out and get some sunshine. It's so sunny here in South London. I'm going to go and get myself a bit of fresh air. I'm going to kick a ball around the park. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Maybe I'll take my phone and do a live stream from there. No, just kidding. There's people have seen enough of us today. I'll see you tomorrow on EPLW at 6:30 p.m. where we are joined by the one and only Helder Costa Mus. And also Tim, the Man United fan. I cannot wait to see his reaction to the Chelsea Man United game because it's going to be tasty either way. Remember, you can subscribe to the channel just by clicking that button up there and allow notifications so you make sure you know whenever we go live. Thank you to everyone who got in the comments today. We are on Patreon as well. So go to patreon.com/Joe Carter EPLW and you can get involved and get exclusive content and exclusive behind the scenes stuff. Just by paying a small amount per month, and it will go towards improving our service. Roz, I think that's enough talking, isn't it? Thank you very much for coming along and offering your expertise and unbiased opinions today. We'll see you tomorrow on EPLW. See you later, mate.
Nice one. See you, mate.